So as I'm saying, in the classrooms, the history is whitewashed or sugar-coated or massaged. Gold attracted the Europeans here. They call Ghana the Gold Coast. But talking about Cape Coast Castle, the British did not construct this because of the gold trade. This was constructed because of the slave trafficking. So the British would traffic Africans from here to Jamaica, Barbados, United States of America, and all that. Others that were trafficked from Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, and others will end up in Haiti, and the French West Indies, and the French Caribbean. So as I always say, today we're going to bear witness to what happened on this side. So I'll take you through the male dungeons first. All right, we can come in. It's 4 steps down. The last step drops a bit, so please watch out. Unfortunately, we can't see the second door anymore. There was another wooden door here, they closed very sharp. So you were forced in chains and in shackles. No water, no food, no air, no light. So from the tunnel, the men were forced out that way and out right towards the door of no return. So I'll show you the female dungeons. I'll take you through the door of no return. Women who tried to escape or women who rebelled. Trust me, the conditions for the African captives in the dungeons was horrible. Trust me, you would never treat your animal even like that. Africans in the dungeons have the worst form of human degradation. You can imagine somebody puts you in a place, stacks you naked, puts you in chains and in shackles, leave you in that same spot with hundreds of others. For like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, you will menstruate right there, you will urinate, you sleep on your... So it's basically, the floor is a swamp of rainwater, toilet, urine, vomit, menstrual blood, you name it. Many revolted, many rebelled. So women who rebel, will keep them here. If they cannot contain them here anymore, they will kill them. It wasn't by the resilience of Africans, this would have continued. You know, England abolishing the trafficking, you know, there are so many things into it. Some of it political, some of it economic, not on the level of, you know, saying they have pity. You know, Industrial Revolution, why do you need enslaved Africans in Europe? So this is what happened from 1791 to 1804. Enslaved Africans in Haiti will kick out one of the greatest general on earth, army out of Haiti. What is his name? Bonaparte. Napoleon Bonaparte. The Haitians kicked the French out of Haiti. Haiti became the first black republic on earth. And Haiti also became the first society on earth made up of enslaved people who fought off the oppressors. They trafficked Africans from Africa in their prime, not in their retirement stage. Men and girls were here in chains and in shackles. They were forced naked. And they were confined in this room. Elected for all the captives. We shall follow their footsteps today, but surely we shall all return. All the captives were forced down to the shore. At the beach or at the shore, they will put them on boats. They will force them on the ships because the ships had to dock some distance away. Slavery ended was Haiti, right? It was Haiti. Now around 1st August 1834, emancipation or freedom was also proclaimed in the British West Indies, the British Virgin Islands, the British Central and South America. So when you go to the Caribbean, in some countries within the Caribbean like Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, Bermuda, etc., every 1st of August is Emancipation Day. So it's the same Emancipation Day we are celebrating in Ghana. But on this side, it's more of bringing home Africans from the diaspora. Before Europeans set foot here, 1471, West Africa was already training navigators, astronomers, mathematicians, scientists. Right? What people will talk about Congo is, oh, it's a war area, it's diseases, it's this and that. It's supposed to be the richest country on earth. Whatever natural resources that comes into your head, it is there in Congo. What? Titanium, cobalt, the metallic things in our communication gadget. Not only the phones, in submarines, rockets and all that, all those things, they use that metal. All right, Congo is producing over 80% of that in the world. And he also mentioned about the rebel factions. So normally I say this, I ask, what is the United Nations doing about that situation in Congo? Because they've been fighting for decades. This is a little I've researched. The war is not really among the people of Congo. No, think about it. Because if you have access to the uranium, the lithium, the titanium, it's an urge, right? You build your weaponry. The superpowers will build enough nukes, enough telecommunication gadget. So think about the people fighting the wars in Congo. It goes beyond them. Because if Congo knows peace, then so the same wheel is still running. Think about it. Did you know the church justified? You see, there's a lot of things they don't tell us in the classroom about the church's involvement in this evil. All right, let me take you back to the 15th century. One Roman Catholic Pope by the name Nicholas V or something gave authorization to Spain and Portugal that they can enslave Africans, rape them, kill them, do as they wish with Africans, because in their doctrines, Africans have no souls to be saved. So when they do all those things to Africans, God is not going to judge you. But the same Dutch Reformed Church will come out with another propaganda that, they are going to kill, rape, and exploit Africans because Africans are cursed. But they call the Jesuit. The Jesuit owned and operated plantation farms in North America. When you go to Barbados, the Church of England owned and operated the Codrington's plantations. So the church had power from blood money. So that is how come the church never said anything against, because the church had the power to stop this evil, but it didn't. Any question? Because Ghana is the first black country in Africa to gain its independence in 1957, but others had their independence even later in the 60s and 70s. But I'm using Ghana as an example. So when you do the math from 1471 to 1970, 500 years. So this was the damage done to Africa for 500 years. So the first damage was slavery and the trafficking of Africans. So let's look at this. For 300 years or over, the strong men and women this continent needed for a development were stolen away from here. So for 300 years, this continent came to a standstill. Nothing was going on. For 300 years, this continent was weakened. When the trafficking of Africans and slavery ended, Europeans did not leave Africa. This is what happened. Now they were all, well convinced that this continent contains all the natural resources Europe will need for its development. And let me also be honest with you. Nothing can ever be made on this our earth without natural resources coming from Africa. Nothing can ever be made without natural resources coming from this continent. That is how the continent was shared. The continent was only shared among Europeans to bring peace among them so that natural resources could be stolen out of this continent. That was the main thing. Because they shared Africa without putting into consideration the diversity. This is the damage done to Africa for 500 years. So Africa is just coming out of that damage just about how many years ago? 67 years ago. So do you expect Africa? Because others will give excuse, on the media they give excuse, oh, Africa is corrupt, this and that. Do you want this continent to be a developed within the twinkle of an eye after more than 400 years of corruption done to it, exploitations, rape and all that? Yes. And even when we had independence, what happened to those crop of leaders? You know, you've ever heard of Patrice Lumumba, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Sylvanus Olympio, Thomas Sankara. What happened to them? They were killed. And this was the entrance to the church. So whoever passed by to worship could smell toilet, could hear someone screaming out of pain. So the end, they didn't really care. They worshipped out here. But an church on the down.